everyone, welcome back to my channel and happy day one of the Thrill Til the Weekend Readathon. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you don't know what video you just clicked on, go check out my announcement video that I posted a couple weeks ago about what this readathon is, or I'll just give you a quick summary. This is a readathon that was created by Jacqueline, and this first round is being co-hosted by myself and Jordan from the channel Sorry Booked Solid. And this is a 72-hour readathon all about reading as many thriller, horror, mystery, true crime books as you please in the 72 hours before the weekend. Hence the name Thrill Til the Weekend. So it is the first day, so it is Wednesday morning, and we have activities planned for every day of the readathon. This evening's activity is going to be a movie watch night that starts at 9 p.m. and we're going to be watching the movie Things Heard and Seen, I think is what it's called. It has Amanda Seyfried in it. I'm super excited to watch that with everybody, and we've all been chatting in the Discord over the past month, and so many people are posting Instagram stories and posts about what they're reading for the readathon, and it is just so cool to see how many people are participating, and it's already just been so much fun, and it's only just the beginning. So I'm so excited for the next couple of days to just be reading thrillers and horrors and mysteries with you all and chatting about books and the movies we're watching, and it's just gonna be a really good time. So I thought I would start off this morning by telling you what my reading plans are, because they're a little unknown to me. So I know for sure I'm going to be reading our buddy read book, which is the book Infinite by Brian Freeman. I got this on Kindle, so I'm going to be reading it on my iPad in ebook form, and it's definitely over like 300 pages. It's going to be like a full book. So I'm going to try to read like half of that today and maybe half of that tomorrow, so that by Friday when we have our book discussion, I'll have finished the whole book. So that's the goal with that book. And then otherwise, I'm kind of an open book. I think I want to do some audiobook listening and some physical book reading, and I don't really know. I don't have like strict plans of books I'm trying to get read, but what I did do was go a little overboard, and I bought a lot of books in anticipation for this readathon because I really just wanted some more novellas in my life. I love a good horror novella or a thriller novella. I just love a short book. I love when a book can pack a punch in a short amount of time. And so these are all of the books I have that I could potentially read over the next couple of days. I don't have any kind of idea in mind of how many of these I want to get through. I bought all of these for myself except for, oh gosh, we're losing books. Except for this one, Blanky by Keelan Patrick Burke, which my friend Hannah from Hannah's Recent Reads got for me for my birthday. So I definitely do want to read this one since this was a birthday gift. It's also super short, and I'm also super interested in it. So I feel like this one for sure is going to make the cut. And then as for the rest of them, I guess I'll just quickly flash what all these books are in case you're curious. Some of them are classics, some of them are newer things. So I have The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. This is a classic. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, also a classic. The Bell Chime by Mona Kabani. I haven't heard anything about this. I just kind of stumbled upon it and I thought it looked and sounded super interesting. And the back looks like a missing persons case, and I think that's the author photo, which is really interesting to make yourself look missing on the back of the book. So I don't know, this one was intriguing. You Should Have Left by Daniel Kelman. I've heard a little bit about this one. It's set in the mountains, and there's a screenwriter guy who's part of the family, and so that just sounds like my vibe. Prosper's Demon by KJ Parker. Crossroads by Laurel Hightower. The Visitor by Sergio Gomez. Fly Away by Kathleen Jennings. Carmilla by Joseph Sheridan LaFanu. I had this recommended to me by one of you guys after I read Dracula. You guys thought I would really enjoy this one. And this edition is edited by Carmen Maria Machado, who is one of my favorite authors of all time. So I was so excited that I could find this edition. Grief is the Thing with Feathers by Max Porter. And Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. So I know for sure I'm not going to get through even like 3 of those. I'm probably going to get to 1 or 2 of those, so I don't want to like tell you the whole synopsis of all of them because it'll just be a waste of everyone's time. But I'm excited to have this stack to pick and choose from whatever I'm in the mood for over the next couple of days. Like I said, probably going to read Blanky. That one's the one that's highest up on my list, so that's the one I could probably see myself reading. But I'm also going to be reading the Buddy Read Infinite. It's kind of like a choose my own adventure for my reading journey over the next couple of days. Don't want to keep myself too constricted in any kind of rules or box. I'm just going to see what I'm in the mood for and mood read over the next couple of days. I am so excited. So I also thought, since since this is a 3-day readathon during the week, I'm gonna be working, I'm not gonna be reading the whole time. How can I spice things up? I'm probably not gonna leave the house over the next 3 days. So I think what I'm gonna do is do some kind of fun activity or poll on my Instagram to get you all involved in the vlog as well. And so what I was thinking of doing today was just an ask me anything kind of box, and then I'll just answer those questions later in the day. So I'm gonna go do that on my Instagram. Shameless plug to my Instagram. If you're not already following, definitely do go check it out because I do a lot over there. It's connected with my YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm gonna go post a story, let you all know I'm starting the readathon, and see what questions you have for me today. And then I'm gonna go get some work done, and this evening I'm gonna pick up Infinite, and then we'll all watch the movie together. So I can't remember if I told you about the hurricane. I mean, you know about Hurricane Ida probably if you have been listening to the news in the United States of what's been happening. But I guess this is it because my phone just started screeching at me about a tornado watch now. And it's like, immediately take cover. And you can probably hear the rain hitting my windows. And there's a bunch of trees outside my windows. And so the trees hit the windows. And it's been dark and gloomy all day. I would call this perfect reading weather. Yeah, I think everything's going to be fine. It's not even raining that hard right now, and it's not even like that windy, so I don't really know why I got a tornado warning. But anyway, now my workday is over, so thought I'd give you some updates. Before I send you into this segment, hi, Editing Ashley here. I have been watching this and I can't believe I was just sitting so nonchalant saying, oh, you know, there's a hurricane and a tornado, but like all's fine. It's totally fine here. You're about to hear trees just beating the crap out of my windows throughout the next couple of minutes of clips. So if you're curious what that sound is, it was just trees hitting my windows in the wind and the rain. And I was just sitting here like it was no big deal, filming a booktube video. So sorry for the noise, but don't worry. Everything was fine for me. The city did flood quite a bit. They're working to recover it, but I think ultimately everyone was okay. If you saw New York City, it wasn't quite as bad as New York City was. But yeah, LOL at me just being like, it's fine. There's a hurricane and a tornado and my windows are getting beat, but it's fine. First off, my Book of the Month box came today. I luckily got it before it started raining. It was sitting outside. I chose Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney as my book selection this month. I've never read from Alice Feeney, but I've heard about her stuff and I'm intrigued enough in this. I usually just pick the thriller if I don't know what else to pick, and I didn't really know much about the other picks this month. So this was the one I was most interested in. This is the one I picked. I don't think I'm gonna read it over the next 3 days, but the vibes look immaculate. And then I did get an add-on. It was a free add-on because it was my birthday last month and I didn't know you got a free add-on on your birthday. And then Hannah said something about it because it was her birthday last month. And I was like, what do you mean you get a free add-on? And then you have to go and configure it and tell it when your birthday is so it can tell you when to give the free add-on. And I did that and it was like, oh shoot, we missed you. We'll give it to you in September. So I got a free add-on, which is amazing. Thank you, Hannah. And I chose Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby because this is my in-person book club's next book club pick, which if you don't know what I'm talking about with my in-person book club, you can check out one of my latest videos where I talk about joining a book club for the first time. So that was the book mail for the day. Now I've just got a couple hours to read before we start the movie tonight. I did start the buddy read Infinite. I read like the first 2 or 3 chapters while I was eating lunch really quick. I don't really have any opinions on it yet. It's kind of hard to tell from the first couple of chapters. It seems like it's going to be really fast paced with short chapters, which I do like. If I had to guess at this point, I would guess it's probably going to end up being pretty confusing because there's like alternate timelines stuff going on. Like there's I'm realizing I never even told you what this book is about, but I don't even really know. So I'll tell you more as I find out more. But basically so far right now you're following this guy who ended up getting in this bad car wreck where he ended up in a body of water and his wife ended up drowning, and he ended up swimming his way out. And so his wife died, and he carries a lot of guilt over that, and he's grieving her loss. I think from what I remember of the synopsis, there's like a therapist or a psychotherapist or something who is treating him, but he can't remember it. And this psychotherapist is someone who operates under the theory, something to do with like all these parallel lives, and every choice you make gives an alternate universe. There's a you that chose yes and a you that chose no, and things like that. And so I don't really know how to explain this book yet, but I'll let you know as I figure it out. That's what I'm going to spend this evening reading before our movie, and I am so excited to watch the movie. I think while I'm cooking dinner, I will answer the questions that you all have left me on Instagram, because I've gotten a couple questions come in. So I'll wait a couple more hours to let those come in, and then I will answer them as I am cooking dinner later tonight. So I will see you then. Okay, hello. I have read a little bit more of Infinite now. I am at the start of chapter 7, so I'm still just like in the first 15% of the book. But I'm getting ready to cook dinner. I'm making Tex-Mex pork and pepper enchiladas from HelloFresh. I love HelloFresh, not sponsored. It's just so easy and delicious. So I figured I would chat with you while I start cooking this, and also do the Ask Me Anything questions from Instagram. So let me go ahead and pull those up. Okay, so the first question I got is, what is my favorite horror book? And I don't have like an immediate answer. I typically find that I prefer horror in the short form, so novellas, especially like Stephen Graham Jones. I really enjoyed his novellas. I read The Only Good Indians, which was a novel of his, and I just didn't enjoy that as much. I really just like really short, fast horror, because I feel like sometimes with horror, if it gets stretched out a long ways, it starts getting a little bit ridiculous to me, especially if it's like a ghost story or something paranormal. I don't know. I just like it to be quicker. I definitely really enjoy Stephen Graham Jones' Night of the Mannequins and the Mapping the Interior. Those novellas that I've read from him, those are some of my favorite horror. I think probably my favorite horror book would be The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. That is an isolation story where this couple goes and they vacation in this cabin. We don't have any other good nights except for this tiny one right now, so this is what we're working with. But it's about this couple who goes and they vacation in this cabin, and then these strangers show up and basically say that they need to let them into the house or else the world is going to end, and then it becomes like a survival story. And I just love survival stories, and I love isolation stories, so it kind of combines my favorite things in horror books. I just think that really raises the stakes when people are stuck in a certain area and when they're trying to survive being stuck in that area and there's like no one to call for help. Those are just like my favorite types of horror. The next question I got is Dream Vacation, and honestly I don't even remember what a vacation is at this point because it's been so long. So I don't really have like a singular place I really want to go. I studied abroad in college and I lived in Prague for a while, so I love Prague and I would really love to go back to Prague again in my life. And then the summer before I studied abroad, I took a trip to Europe and went around like the Bavaria area, and then I also traveled around the Bavaria area a lot when I was studying abroad in Prague. So I've been to Austria and Germany and Switzerland and Sweden and a lot of those kind of countries. So I'd really like to go to like the UK because I haven't been to London, I haven't been to Ireland. I think those would be fun places to go check out. So those are like next up on my list. But I'm definitely not like a beachy person. Like I don't really want to go to any nice islands or anything. The Norwegian fjords, that's definitely something that's on my list. I kind of wanted to do that when I was studying abroad, but it's really freaking expensive and I was a college student, so I could not make that happen for myself, but that's definitely like a dream destination. Next question is most anticipated release for the remainder of the year. The first thing that comes to mind is the new TJ Klune book, Under the Whispering Door, I think it's called, which is coming out this month in September. So I'm super excited to check that out because I loved The House in the Cerulean Sea last year. Otherwise, I don't know of a ton more books coming out this year. I feel like the bulk of the books that I was excited for have already come out this year. Like even just looking at the books I have pre-ordered for the rest of the year, there's only like 4 more left that haven't come out yet. So I think my most anticipated one right now is Under the Whispering Door, and then the rest will kind of be a surprise. The next question is favorite movie or top 3. First thing that comes to mind is one of my most recent favorite horror films, and that is The Lodge. I don't even know who directed it. I think it came out last year, but that again is like an isolation horror story, and I really, really liked it. It's like psychological. It makes you keep guessing the whole time. There's a couple twists. It's really, really good, and I really want to watch it again. What else do I like? I really like the To All the Boys I've Loved Before movies, that trilogy. They just feel good. Like, those are my feel-good comfort movies. If I'm having a sad day and I just want to feel comforted, that's what I want to watch. I just really love those movies. Next question is, do you annotate your books? And the answer to that is not really. I definitely don't write in my books. I sometimes tab my books if there's like a really good quote. And I'm trying to dog ear my books a little more because it's just kind of a vanity thing to not dog ear your books. And so I'm trying to get past that because, I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to like let myself write in books or dog ear pages and just kind of do what I want to do with books, since I'm like buying them and keeping them and adding them to my collection. If I really love them, I want to feel like I can do that. It's just really hard to get past. Like, something in my mind tells me that I can't do that. So I'm trying to get better about it, but right now, no, I do not annotate my books. Oh boy, my battery's gonna die, so I gotta go quick. The next question came from a friend of mine from high school, and she said, remember when you used to tell me the storyline of the book you read? And also, she finally finished a book. So Olivia, if you're watching this, congratulations for finishing a book. Let me know what it was. I hope you enjoyed it. And then yes, I do remember when I used to tell you the plots of the books that I was reading, because I would just love the book so much, and I would just tell you what was going on, and you would just really be a great listener and a great friend and react and invest. And I really appreciate that, because sometimes it's hard to be a reader because not a ton of people like to read a lot, like an insane amount. And so now I have an easier time with that now that I'm more in the book community. Like, I have bookish friends who I can chat with, but especially back then I didn't have many people who were like reading as much as I was. So I really appreciated that, and I hope you're doing well. The next question, let me check, is how do you get yourself out of a reading rut? And I'm honestly not the best person to ask about that because I have a hard time getting out of reading ruts myself. My personal method is just pushing through and like forcing myself to keep picking up books. Typically because I have like certain reasons I need to read books for videos or book clubs or things, and so I just keep pushing myself through and try to keep reading even if I'm not enjoying that. What a lot of people recommend is rereading a book that you know you loved, because you'll be able to get like sucked back into it. I just don't reread a lot. I need to reread more, but I just never find the time for it. But if I'm like really in a rut and I really need to pick something up to get me out of it, I typically pick up either a romance or a cheesy kind of thriller that I know will be really fast paced and keep me hooked. Those are just my personal favorite genres, so that's what really will help me get out of it, is just to find something I'm in the mood for. And like, it's probably better if you don't try to force it, but that's usually what I end up doing. But I would recommend not forcing it if you're not feeling like reading, because who cares? This world is not a reading race. And then the last question I got is, other than Thrill Til the Weekend, what is your favorite readathon that you've participated in? And without a doubt, I would say Summerween for sure. If you don't know what that is, it is a readathon that is hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads and Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte. And it's just kind of similar to this one, like all about spooky reading spooky books. They've done a winter edition called Winterween. They're getting ready to do a weekend edition called something like Camp Paula Weekend or something. And it is just so much fun. It has helped me connect to others in the book community who also love spooky things. Like, they're just my people. Anyone who just loves thrillers, horror, spooky things, if you want it to be Halloween all year long, you're my people. If you're watching this, if you're participating in this readathon, you're probably also my people. So hello, welcome. I just love all things spooky. I want it to be Halloween all year long, I say as I aggressively wield a knife around in the air. But that is just definitely my favorite readathon. That's how I've just connected with some of the best people. I look forward to it every year. It's happened like 3 times now, I think. 2 or 3. We've had 2 Summerweens, 1 Winterween, and we're getting ready to have a Weekend-a-ween. Whatever they end up calling that. So I love it. I'm so excited for it, and I can't wait to participate again. And then of course this Thrill Til the Weekend readathon, I will for sure be participating in future editions of this. Jacqueline's going to continue hosting this. She's going to do a couple rounds this year with different co-hosts throughout the year. So of course I'm going to keep participating in this one too, because all things spooky, I'm going to be there for it. But that was the last question. So thank you so much to everyone who sent me a question, but I have never cooked slower in my life because I'm so distracted. So I'm going to focus on this, cook myself dinner, and then I will check in with you later this evening. Hello, good morning, and happy day 2 of the Thrill Til the Weekend readathon. I don't usually spend this much time in my kitchen if you're new to my videos or channel or vlogs, but I am having construction done at the front of my building because they decided to just tear out like the 3 stairs that lead up to the front door, and they didn't give us any warning, and so it's very loud and the workers are playing music. So I've had to condone myself to the kitchen for filming a lot of the time, so you don't hear all of that background noise that is gracing my days. But anyways, it is about 2 p.m. right now. I still haven't had lunch, so I need to make some lunch. Yeah, again, I'm working today, so not going to get anything done until the evening, but wanted to check in with you, let you know how last night went, some more reading that I got done, and just kind of catch up. So last night we did the movie watch night where we watched Things Heard and Seen, and that was so fun to watch that with everyone in the Discord. I mean, I for sure thought it was gonna be fun, but it like exceeded my expectations of how fun it was to watch a movie and just be chatting with a bunch of people all at the same time. I mean, I've watched movies with people before in real life, but I've never watched a movie virtually with that many people before, and it was so funny and entertaining, and the chat was just blowing up the whole time. The movie was so bad, but like we all were just hating it together, just like, what is this film? What is this ending? What is this trash man doing with his life? And oh my gosh, it was just the most fun. So if you missed out on that, you missed out on a great experience, and I would definitely recommend that the next time this readathon comes around that you try to get involved in that, because it was so much fun. I also got a little bit more of reading done last night, so I read some more of Infinite, and I'm about at the 40% mark right now. I think that's somewhere around like chapter 10 if you're looking at the physical copy. And I'm not gonna give any spoilers, so don't worry about spoilers, but I'm pretty intrigued with this book. It is surprising me. Every chapter kind of gets crazier and crazier and keeps building on itself. I did not really explain what this book was about well because I didn't really know, and I'm still kind of trying to figure it out, I guess. But basically the main gist of the story is you're following this main guy who got in a car accident, drove into a river. His wife was in the car with him. She drowned and died. He ended up making it out. And when he was coming out of the river, he saw a man watching them. He was like, why is that guy not helping us? And it was himself. So that's the first time he sees himself as like a doppelganger, and he thinks he may be like hallucinating or just kind of losing it from the trauma of that situation. And he keeps running into different versions, or at least one different version of himself, and that one particular different version seems to be trying to sabotage his life and is like out here murdering people and trying to frame him for it, and it's just getting kind of crazy. There's also this element of a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist or something who knows this main guy, but he has no memory of her, and so I guess she thinks that he's in a different dimension or timeline or something. I don't know, it's pretty confusing, but like if you just read it and you go with it, it's pretty fun. So I'm having a good time with that. I think I'm gonna be able to finish that today. We have our reading sprints later tonight, so I think I'm gonna read that. I might pick something else. I don't know. It'll be like a mood kind of thing. Either way, I think I can finish Infinite tonight and then reserve tomorrow evening for picking up at least 1 or 2 of the novellas that I have on my list. But overall, I'm just having such a great time. This is such a fun 3 days. This community is so fun. You guys are just such my people. I just love talking about spooky stuff with people. It is the best. And tonight in our live show, we're going to just be chatting, catching up about how the readathon's going. We're going to be doing reading sprints, and we're going to be doing scary stories in the dark. So I think that'll be a ton of fun. fun. But as for the rest of my day, I'm going to get a couple more hours of work done, and then I'm going to squeeze in some reading before the live show. And so I'll check in with you the next time I have some updates. Oh my god, also, wait, how did I forget this? This is the update that I had. So I have not filmed yet today, obviously, right? Like, this is the time I'm filming, and I've been really just like focused in the work that I'm doing today, because yesterday I felt a little distracted with the start of the readathon, and I've really been trying to like get a lot done today. And then I just happened to realize I somehow missed it, that I hit 3,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for being here, whether you're new or you've been here for a long time. That is just crazy to me how quickly I went from 1,000 to 3,000. Like, I feel like it took a bit to get to the 1,000, and then that was just a couple months ago, and now all of a sudden I have 3 times that, and there's 3,000 of you here. Like, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful that you're here, that you enjoy hearing me ramble about books, and that you chat with me about books, and that you connect with me on other social medias. I just love this little community. It's been especially comforting just moving to a new place and feeling like I lost a lot of my community, but I'm building such a nice online community. It is so nice, and I appreciate you being here so much. So I just wanted to make sure that I did not forget to say thank you. Okay, but now I'm gonna go back to work. Probably gonna try to make some lunch first, then I'm gonna work, and then I will check in with you later. Hey everyone, happy day 3 of the Thrill Til the Weekend readathon. It is currently like 9 p.m. and I have not checked in all day, so I haven't done a very good job of vlogging today, but I did do a good job of reading. So last night we had the live show, and that was so much fun. Just like the movie night, it was even more fun than I imagined that it would be. It was so fun to turn off all the lights and tell spooky stories together, and we all just had a really good time, and I feel like we all just meshed really well, even though a lot of us have not spoken to each other before. It just was very natural, and so a ton of fun. That live show is still available on Jacqueline's channel if you want to catch up if you missed it. I'll leave the link down below, as well as links to like everything else related to the readathon, but definitely would recommend that you go check it out because it was a ton of fun. We chatted, we did reading sprints, we told spooky stories in the dark. It was just all around a good time. Also during the live show, since we did a 1-hour reading sprint, I was able to finish the Buddy Read Infinite by Brian Freeman. I finished this within our first half of the reading sprints, so I can update you on how I felt about that, and then I have read a whole other book since then, and so then we'll talk about that one as well. I have kind of mixed feelings on this one. I think overall I just enjoyed the ride. It was definitely a page turner. It definitely kept you hooked. It was definitely super fast paced, and it was in a style where the end of each chapter is either some kind of twist or cliffhanger that really makes you want to keep figuring out what's going on. I read it all in 2 sittings, so it's very readable. I think that multiple universe, multiple dimension, parallel universe things are maybe not my favorite type of weird thing going on with time, because it reminded me a lot of The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson, and that book was like a 3-star read for me, and I think this would also be like a 3-star for me. I definitely think they're fun. I think the idea is cool. I think it's very difficult to execute, and it either is too confusing, or there's plot holes, or it feels pointless because you're not connecting to just a character. You see so many different versions of this character. So it's just really hard to do super well. A lot of people really enjoyed this book. A lot of the people in the group gave it 5 stars. A lot of people gave it 4 stars. I'm just picky, and like I said, I think maybe this just isn't my favorite thing to do with time, since I've noticed this in a couple other books. But if you're wondering if you should pick it up if you did not read it yet for the Buddy Read with the Readathon, we talked about this in the live show. Elizabeth brought this up, but it very much falls on the spectrum between Dark Matter by Blake Crouch and The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It's like right in the middle of those. I haven't read Dark Matter, but I've heard a ton about it. I have read Midnight Library, and it did remind me of The Midnight Library a lot. And like I said, it also reminded me of The Space Between Worlds. So if you like those books, then I would recommend picking this one up. Overall, yeah, it was just a fun time for me. It's not something that's gonna be super memorable for me because it's just so crazy and twisty that there's no way I'm gonna be able to remember everything that happened. But I think it was a fun one. We had the book discussion today. This afternoon on the Discord, we chatted about the book all together, and it was just fun to theorize with everyone. There's like another kind of twist right at the end of the book, and so we were all like talking about what that means. And yeah, it was a good book to talk about just because there's so much going on. It very much gave a lot to discuss. So that was Infinite. All in all, probably like a 3-star for me. And then as I mentioned, I did read another book during the live show, and then I finished it today. And that is Blanky by Keelan Patrick Burke. This is a very short novella. It is only like 75 pages, so I was able to read it very, very quickly. And this is a story about this couple who loses their child. They have a baby and their baby ends up dying, and so they're grieving the loss of their baby, and they separate and they're grieving separately and are having a hard time going through that. But then one night a blankie is in the nursery. The dad finds the child's blanket in the nursery, and that is weird because they buried the baby with that blanket. And then it becomes like a haunted blanket story where things start getting pretty intense. This is a horror story, so there are some graphic scenes. It's obviously going to be pretty triggering. If child loss is something you don't want to read, would not recommend reading this one. This was also probably like a 3-star for me. It's not insanely memorable, not a ton happens. It's only 75 pages, so you might be saying, of course not a lot happens in 75 pages, but read The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. You can make a lot happen in a short amount of pages, because that's like a 60-page book, and it is full of twists and turns, and it's very fun. But this one, I just didn't get any like oomph from the story. It was fun, it was fast, there were some really creepy scenes, some things that really freaked me out. But it's kind of one of those stories you just pick up and read, and then you're like, okay, I read it, I'm good. So it didn't blow me away. I am definitely super interested in this author, Keelan Patrick. My dog has decided to chew his bone right now, so sorry if you hear my dog chewing his bone. But I am very interested in this author, Keelan Patrick Burke, because I know he writes a lot of horror novellas, and I love a good horror novella, so I definitely will check out more stuff from this author. I would still recommend this if you like a good short horror novella, a good short horror story. But like I said, it heavily involves the loss of a child, so if that's not something you want to read about, then maybe skip this one. So since it's like 9 p.m., I still have 3 hours till midnight technically, so I could squeeze in another novella, or I could just chill out because I'm pretty tired from the week. But I think the most fun part of this readathon has just been all of the activities and the community aspect behind it, more so than the reading. Jacqueline even said last night, she's like, I don't even care, I don't even need to read, like this is just fun, let's like watch movies together, let's have live shows. Who even needs to read in a readathon? So definitely agree, this has just been such a fun time, such a fun community-based activity, and I'm not gonna push myself to try to squeeze in another novella just for the sake of doing it. I'm pretty tired, I have plans for the weekend that I need to rest up for, so I'm gonna just call it at these 2 books, but 2 books in 3 days is pretty good if I do say so myself. As I mentioned, I will be leaving all links down below for Jacqueline's channel and Jordan's channel and the live show and all the other things that we did. All the details will be down below for things that you can still go check out. I want to say thank you again to Jacqueline for asking me to co-host this first round of the Thrill Til the Weekend readathon. It has been so much fun. It is more fun than I even imagined it would be. I definitely will be participating in future rounds where there are different co-hosts. I can't wait for you all to do this again so I can join in and watch the movies with you guys or watch the live shows that you guys do. This was just such a fun, creative, unique readathon, and I can't wait to see where it goes in the future. Comment and let me know down below if you participated in the Thrill Til the Weekend readathon. What was your favorite part? What books did you read? How were they? Did you read the buddy read? Let me know and we can chat below. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!